Hey, Chris Lipe here with How to Sing Like Bono. U2 is by far one of my greatest influences. Songwriting, singing, the guitar sounds, I love it. There's something so simplistic and so freeing about everything, particularly the earlier stuff, everything that they do. And Bono's voice, in my opinion, is no exception. He's got a fantastic sense of melody, and the way he phrases and uses airflow to connect emotionally with the listener is pretty amazing. So that's one of the main things we're going to unpack. And as I say in all of these videos, we're not trying to imitate Bono. We're not trying to sound like Bono. We are going to listen intently to what he does in key little excerpts and put that stuff in our own voice. Make observations and then see how our voice reacts to what he's suggesting. And as you're watching this video, if you'd like help unpacking your own voice so that you can do some of the things that you hear me doing as I react to what Bono's doing, click that link below and join my free vocal course. I'll help you discover ways that you can use your voice that you never thought you possibly could. And be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn those notifications on so that when I come out with a video, you're made aware. All right, let's get started. Example 1.
I'll wait for you.
Now listen, this is in his lower resonance.
I'll wait.
Now he approaches that first note. He approaches it from fry. And then listen to wait.
I'll wait.
It's so light, even for being low. Kind of like it's so light, right? I'll wait.
I'll wait.
I'll wait. And there's this sense that he's dipping up to each note. That's a very Bono-esque thing to do.
I'll wait for you.
That long consonant, another thing he does in his lower register. I'll wait for you. Now, part of what he's doing, he adds weight to those lower notes by approaching it with fry and being very resonant in his face. Whether he thinks about it or not, that's what he's doing. I'll wait. Hear the difference between those sounds? I'm not going, I'll wait. I'm backing off the intensity. This is one way that he uses airflow to really drive home each phrase. I'll wait for you. Next. Now let's talk about his tone here. When he was low, and I'll wait, there wasn't this bright, whiny sound. And I've done this with other guys, but Bono definitely has some of that sedated witch vibe going on. I'll get you, my pretty. What goes into that larynx position, it's not here. I'll get you, my pretty. Combined with compression. I'll get you. And then pushing up just above where our chest ends, and instead of going, I'll get you, we are resting in that in between. I'll get you, my pretty. There's definitely that happening, but he goes to one more step. I'm gonna say that he's not a sedated witch. He is a concerned and insightful character, a concerned and insightful witch. So it's not, and you give I'll get you, and you give, and you give, and you give. Now, he's not saying, and you give, and you give, give. It's very This is hard to get placed right because we're not doing this. And you give. It's not, I'll get you, and you give. There it is. And you give yourself away. And getting into the example here, he's a little softer than that. And you give yourself away. It's not that, but it's not this. And you give, and you give yourself, and you give yourself away. There's that happy medium, but we're playing with those extremes so that we can get that sheen and that lightness that he exhibits here. Next. Now, here, I think a lot of people throw these kinds of things out when they're listening to vocalists and not really pay attention to how extreme this is. Listen to what he's doing here. I can't. And then listen at the very end. Live. He lets his voice crack a little bit. There's this desperation. There's that concern. Desperation's a great word for it too. I can't live. Where his voice falls apart and he's not just going, I can't live. There's this very desperate reach down, pick the listener up. I can't live. And live, there's a lot of different ways to place that. He does a very good job of not ever doing the I can't live. It's I can't live. And then playing with the I as opposed to the eh. Next. Now, the attack. It's all in the attack with him here. There's a crack there. It's not, oh! There's all sorts of non-smoothness going on here. Oh! Oh! Huge H. Huge crack there at the beginning. This is intentional. This is an emotional connection to the notes. And then there's a break before he goes down. This is a wonderful thing to practice and a wonderful thing to really introspect with your own voice. How can we use air at the beginning and even in the middle of notes to accentuate and create a certain vibe? Next.
Only to be with you. Only to be with you.
Now listen to his character here. This is not only to be with you. There is this sedation he sounds relaxed, and at the same time, he sounds very intentional and concerned.
Only to be with
Only, let's brighten it up. Only to be with you. Only to be. Only to be with you. How can we play with our larynx position to make sure that we're not dark, but that we're light? How can we play with airflow so that we're not only to be? We use just enough airflow and just enough compression to give us this nice, silky, overflowing over the top of the music vibe. Only to be with you. As opposed to, only to be with you. It's good to go to those extremes. Find something in the middle. Okay, these next examples are going to really display his interesting use of airflow and resonances.
This burning desire.
Listen to that.
This burning.
It's burning! There's definitely that going on, right? But then listen to how he lightens up.
This burning desire.
That's not quite, it's not as extreme as
This burning.
this burning desire. It's not quite that. He's living in this, it's a quiet mix, and that he is using his head voice, but he's connected it to his clean chest in a way by managing airflow, by managing his tone, that's going to allow him to, within the same phrase, be fully present and very backed off at the same time. So let's practice doing this. Let's practice getting into that. This burning desire. This burning desire. That might mean that sometimes I go into pure head intentionally. This burning desire. Then go back to chest. And then play with blending those even more carefully. This burning desire. This burning desire. This burning desire. This burning desire. One of the things that really is neat about Bono's style is that there's this lack of attention to accuracy. There's more of an emphasis on expressiveness. And so when he's doing this, if it's a little pitchy or if it's a little, extra whiny, this burning desire. If the pitch isn't quite right, but it's still this sort of shaky, uneasy, yet confident sort of sound that's rooted in that, a little bit in that sedated witch, but more of a concerned, mildly sedated, yet confident witch, then that's better than hitting all the pitches just right. Next.
Someone you can lend a hand.
This is a perfect example of what I just said. Listen to how the pitches, this is very conversational. The pitches don't matter that much.
Someone you can lend a hand.
A hand, not a hand, someone, I'll get you, someone you can lend a hand. Very bright, very sustainy.
Someone you can lend a hand.
Someone you can lend a hand. Someone you can lend a hand. Pitch is secondary to expressiveness, in this case to being relaxed. Pretty neat. Next. Ooh, another great example. Don't let it get away. Don't let it get away. Going in and out between resonances, lots of airflow, backing off the airflow, and letting his voice transfer resonances mid-phrase. And And it's so well blended. Don't let it get away. Don't let it get away. Don't let it get away. All sorts of different flavors, ways you can play in and out with that line. But play with attacking it with a lot of air, letting it trail into that nice vibrato that he does. That's another part of how he gets his vibrato, is by being on the edge of the resonances. Hey, hey. See what I'm doing? I'm starting with my chest, hey, and I'm ending there. But in the process, I'm using my vibrato to help mask that break. Don't let it get away.
See the canyons broken by cloud.
Broken by cloud. Is he in chest or head? Broken by cloud. Broken by cloud. See the canyons broken by cloud. Don't worry as much about pitch as you are living in that brighter, broken by cloud, and then letting it trail in between resonances. See the canyons broken by cloud. See the canyons broken by cloud. And as you're dialing it in, let your voice more obviously go in between. See the canyons broken by cloud. See the canyons broken by cloud. Next.
I want to hide.
Now here, he's a bit more obvious at the end of that phrase, right?
I want to hide.
Hide. I want to hide. Now, what he's doing and what I'm doing are both unplanned as we practice singing, in that I want to hide. I want to hide. I want to hide. Oh, I want to hide. Next.
Hold me inside.
So now he closes as he goes lower.
Hold me inside.
Hold! He always has this nice, healthy grit as he's leaning into his voice, and then is able to decrease the airflow and have that nice, bright, hold me inside. In this case, he has this brighter thing in the middle, and then he darkens.
Hold me inside.
Inside. Hold me. Me is very forward. Me. Very nasal. Hold me inside. He still has that ending inside, where pent up compression, airflow, and then that little bit propensity to crack subtly. Hold me inside. Hold me in. The manipulation of his tone control within lines is unparalleled, in my opinion. Next. Now, here we're higher and harnessing that sedated witch. Yeah, I'll get you, my pretty, is going to be very handy. Now, there's some grit there. Feel is relatively clean. He's not going fail. It's feel. It's light, but it's still compressed, and it's pretty intense. This is not, though, feel. No. We want to get there clean and bright. I'll get you. Feel. It's not that gritty either. Let's try to clean it up. Feel. Not pure head. Feel. no. Feel. That's pretty close, right? He's a bit more, in this case, he's a bit more intense than that. And pretty confident. Feel. Next.
Swing into the music.
Ooh. Now listen to the timbre of his voice here.
Swing into the
Swing! Swing, not swing to the music. Swing! He's not terribly high. High larynx position though. Swing! Lots of compression. Very, very nasal. Swing into the music. Swing into the music. Swing into the music. How concerned? Swing into the music. Swing, swing, swing into the music. Tonal versatility, manipulation, and use of airflow, subtly blending those resonances together for this subtle mix is really what makes Bono's sound come alive. And he does it with way more of an emphasis on expression and having those tonal variances than he does hitting every pitch right on all the time. He makes use of a lot of dynamics. I really enjoy covering Bono. Let me know what other singers you'd like me to do after watching this video. Maybe there's another guy that came to mind that you'd like me to try. And again, if you'd like help unpacking your voice further, click that link below and join my free vocal course. And be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn those notifications on so you get more videos. We'll see you for more.